Hi, nice to see you again on Astro Awani. You're watching in Realty with me, Syed Fardin Omar. Now, you've seen them everywhere. They're on the back of taxis and buses, they're on billboards, but what exactly is iProperty? Now, what it means is it's not about flipping through newspapers and magazines anymore to find that perfect home for yourself, but it's here and on the net. But today we're focusing on the app that's found on the phone, be it Android, be it Apple. It's a great way to actually personalize the way you search for your dream property. Now, how do you do it? Well, we have the man himself to answer the questions for us. We have Sean de Gregorio, the CEO of iProperty Group.
Nice to see you, that's right.
Nice to see you too. Now, it's a paradigm shift. I will not have blackened fingers anymore flipping through hundreds of pages of newspaper trying to find the perfect home. And what iProperty does, as far as I'm concerned, is it tells me what's available and it shows me great pictures of it.
It does, that's right.
Tell me, how did this idea come about in the first place?
Well, I guess it came about by consumers wanting an easier way to look for property, and the industry, agents and property developers wanting a more convenient way to advertise. And so it was really pushed by those two things. And of course, technology's been galloping along at a rapid rate. So very quickly, Malaysians and a lot of people around the world, but Malaysians turn to the internet to find so much of their information these days, and increasingly have turned to iProperty, and in many different ways now. So it's easy for them to find.
So it's available on the phone, it's available on tablets. So tell me about the product itself. How does one actually engage the huge property market of Malaysia through iProperty?
Yeah, there's about 250,000 properties located in our database, and a lot of people still use the browser, the laptop or their computer. Increasingly, we've seen people turn to the iPhone. Last year we launched an iPad app for our site. This year we've launched the Android app. And we've also released a mobile version of the site, so any phone you have, you can find a site that's going to work on that phone. But it's about convenience, it's about immediacy, it's about being able to find a property wherever you are, whether you're driving along safely, of course, walking down the street, walking through a shopping centre. You can now access properties for sale and for rent in Malaysia via any handheld set on the market.
Right. Now, when you say from anywhere in Malaysia, that means it's actually sensitive towards where you are, and there are functions that allows you to actually go right into looking at what's available around me.
The great thing is, you're exactly right. You can be walking down the street, and if you want to, you can use the app and it'll find your location, not record it, just use it.
Of course, yeah.
And find your location, then it will plot properties that are available in your immediate radius. So you can turn around and literally look down the street you're on and know what houses are for sale. Obviously take a look on the phone and make an inquiry if you like. So it's all about convenience. It's all about access and convenience, and giving people the information they want, when they want it, in the form that they want it, wherever they are.
So it's all about being rapid. It's rapid interaction between seller and buyer. Yeah. Now, it's great that it allows me to see what's available immediately. It's bad when I'm in a posh area and know that I can afford nothing around me.
Well, real estate is still about voyeurism, isn't it? It's always nice to dream, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, tell me, how does it work? Show me, how does it work?
Well, it's very simple. This is the Android app, which is the latest one we've released. So this works on the Android operating platform, and it's very user intuitive. So I simply click on, find some properties, and we'll look at, maybe some, here we go, we'll look at a semi-D or a bungalow, and we'll use the posh area analogy, and maybe look at somewhere like, say, here we go, Damansara Heights.
Okay.
And we'll leave the price out just to keep our options open, and simply go search.
Right. And
that'll go away. Look at the database, and remember, you can do this from anywhere you are. And what it'll bring me up very shortly is a list of the properties available in that area. And that's the most basic way that people will use the application. And now the thing to remember about using these tools is that when someone's looking on a mobile, on their iPhone, on an Android app or an iPad, it's much quicker than they would normally interact if they were sitting at their laptop or their computer. So the way we design these is to give the user the information they need pretty quickly, and you can see here that it's brought me up the properties that are in Damansara Heights, and I can go in and take a look, and that'll bring up all of the relevant information.
Sean just had to pick one that's worth 8.9 million ringgit just to drive home the point.
Just to drive, we can all dream, right? So this shows us a nice place. I can go down and look at the information. I can email the agent, I can call the agent, I can SMS the agent, I can even look on a map to check my location, and of course, Property being a very visual thing, I can then bring up some more photos and browse the application as well. So it's very user friendly, but it is quick. It's an immediate response, and it gets you the information you want fast as possible, so you can go off and do something else with your afternoon if need be.
Right. So it's basically it packages all the information that normally one seeks when looking for a specific property, and it's available anywhere at any time.
24/7, takes out of the database all the relevant information, so whether it's bedrooms or locality that you're interested in, or price of course, which is always important, drags all that information out. You can search and filter out the search results with that criteria, and hopefully you'll find the property that's just right for you, and quickly.
Now, I mentioned earlier that it's quick interaction between buyer and seller. Now, when we talk about seller, are we talking about individual sellers, or do we have agents as well in there?
Agents are the biggest users of the internet. They still sell most of the property that is transacted in Malaysia. So most of our ads are from agents. You can certainly put an ad on yourself, but agents, being professionals and doing it for a living, tend to use this application a lot. So you can see now that this has brought up bigger pictures of the photos, and I can scroll through, and here's a nice one you might be envious of. So nice place. I don't think you or I will be buying it, but a bit out of our range, or out of my range.
Yeah, but it's great to look at.
It's great, and to be able to carry this around. You can carry this around, and you'll get a good visual of the property, and you can literally be standing 50 feet from it.
How often is the database updated?
Every hour.
Every hour?
Yeah, so
and who does that?
That's the job of IT.
Right.
But obviously, if there are new listings uploaded onto the database, within the hour they'll be on the site. And a lot of people will register for alerts, so they'll go onto the site, which you can do via this, and you can say, look, I'm after a property in this area, this number of bedrooms at this price. If anything comes along, please let me know.
And you'll get email notification
straight away. That's right.
Fantastic.
So it's a lot of push as well for consumers. They don't always have to go to the site. We'll go to them.
Right. So it really does make things that much easier. Now, traditionally, you'd have to buy a newspaper for, say, a ringgit, 52 ringgit, but what sort of money is involved in doing something like this for the consumer, for the buyer itself?
Well, this is all free. This is all accessible 24/7.
No subscription fee.
There's no subscription fee for consumers. Whether you get, it's free on your iPhone, it's a free download on your iPad, it's a free app for your Android, or you can just look at the mobile version, which of course is free. So no more picking up, a big paper on a Saturday and wading through it. Obviously, print will still play a role in housing, but
it's always fun to get your fingers dirty.
Correct, and it's nice to browse and have a coffee, but this is the way more and more people are finding the property that they're after.
Right, I see. Now, and what about for the sellers? What sort of money is involved for them?
Well, most of our agents pay a monthly fee to access the site, and generally for a seller, their agent will put them on the site, and he'll pay the fee. So for a seller, it's a very, very small cost compared to the alternatives of things like print or outdoor. So for a seller, it obviously gets your property in front of nearly 1 million people a month in Malaysia who are using our network of websites in Malaysia.
And it's targeted as well.
Very targeted. So, it's not going out to a part of the country or to consumers who aren't interested. It's only going to people who want to find your house. So it certainly makes the process of selling far easier, and hopefully far quicker, and hopefully if you're a seller at a far better price.
Now, what's the macro effect that something like this has on the general property market of Malaysia?
Well, one thing that applications like these achieve is that consumers are now more empowered than they've ever been before. They've got access to more information, they've got access to records of sale prices, they've got access to comparable sales, and they get it quickly. So what the internet has done is really empowered consumers with information. So buyers out there and sellers, are far more informed today about the value of their property, about the other properties that are on the market, and about what's happening in the property market, thanks to the internet. And I think that's a terrific thing for the industry. And if you're buying or selling a home, the more information, the better you'll do.
Well, if it makes it a whole lot easier, then it can only be positive. Sean, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
It looks very interesting indeed. Now, that's it from me in the first segment. As usual, I'm going to send you packing with Lena in the next segment. I don't know what she's got up her sleeve, but I'm sure it's something amazing. I've got my afternoon fixed for me because I'm going to go look for my dream home. So stay with us on In Realty.